Hello and welcome to another Fusion Extreme Photoshop tutorial. Today we're going to talk about eyes and how to Photoshop them and make them look like they pop just a little bit better. If you take a look here at Sabrina, you might think her eyes look pretty good right here. You might think that they look great, but watch what we're going to do here just to make her eyes pop a little bit more. It's a great little tip to give your photos that extra edge. Alright, now, the very first thing I'm going to do here with Sabrina, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on her eye. Now this tool right down here is your magnifying tool. Don't confuse it here with the dodge tool. It's the magnifying tool down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and zoom in on her eye. There, looks great. Now what I want to do, I want to select her eye, but first of all, I want to create a background copy. Now, you can do this a couple of ways. Right now, the layers palette is not showing. To get the layers palette showing, you can either hit F7 on a PC or you can come right here to layers and click on that. Up comes your layers palette down over here. Now, we want to copy this background image. We want a copy of it. There are several ways to do this. You can either hit Control J on a PC or you can drag down here and let it go and look at what happens. We have a background copy. Alright, that's great. Now, what I want to do, I want to work on the background copy. Don't have the background selected, make sure you've got the background copy selected. Alright, now I want to select Sabrina's eye for what we're about to do here. Now, I'm going to do this more quickly. I'm not going to be really precise just for the sake of taking time in the tutorial, but you're going to want to be a little more precise than I'm being here. I'm just going to grab the magic lasso and grab right around her eye here, and good. Now we're going to work with that area right there that's selected. Now what I'm going to do here, the very first thing, is I want to come up to Image, Adjustments, and Levels, or Curves. We'll work with Curves. Now the Curves brings up this dialog box. I'm just going to raise it up just a little bit, just to make it a little bit brighter, and then I'm going to go to Blue and pull it up just a little to make the color pop a little bit more. Now this tip itself actually works better with blue or green or gray eyes, but it can work with brown eyes. It's just a little more difficult. Maybe I'll get to that in another tutorial, but I think you can probably, once you get used to this, you can figure that out on your own. Anyway, what we're doing right now, okay, you might look at it and say, wow, that already looks better. It does, but not even close to what we're going to do here. Now I want to come over to the Dodge and Burn tool. That's this thing right here. Again, don't confuse it with the magnifying tool down here. Come up to your Dodge and Burn tool. Make sure that you've selected Dodge. If you've selected Dodge, what I want to do, I want to go right around the center of the eye. Now I've selected a fairly small brush here. You select your brush size up here. You want to make sure that the hardness, you don't want it to be very hard at all. Okay, you want it to have, like, you don't want to go any more than the middle or so on your hardness scale here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back here, and I want to dodge. I have the exposure, by the way, set down to about 18. I want to dodge right around her pupil. Not a lot. I don't want a lot to happen. I just want a little bit around her pupil. Might not look like it's making much of a difference. You can see what's happening, but watch what happens when we're all done. I'm going to come back over to your Dodge and Burn tool here now, and I'm going to select Burn. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did, but I'm going to go around the outside with Burn. Okay, great. Now, I think I want that a little bit more even. Everybody's taste is going to be a little different. You're going to want to decide on your own. Now, this looks fine, but I think I want to replace the pupil. I think that replacing the pupil can be a good thing. Now, you come down here, and you'll click this little box here to get black and white right here on your foreground color and background color. What we're going to do, we're going to come up here to the marquee tool, and instead of the rectangular marquee tool, we're going to go with elliptical marquee tool. Now what that's going to do is that's going to select a round area. Okay, so let me deselect what we have here now, and what you want to do is you want to come right around the pupil, and you want to select an area about the size of the pupil. Now, when you're working with this, you want to feather your selection. Right now, I have 0 in right here where it says feather. So what I can do is I can go up to Select, Modify, Feather, and choose whatever I'd like. Let's say 5, I'm thinking is going to be about right. It's going to be different for every image depending on the size. And again, you're going to have to learn to work with that. But right now I'm going to work with 5. Now what I want to do is hit Edit, Fill, because again, my foreground color is black. Opacity is 100% and I want it to choose from the foreground color. Make sure that it's not on any of these other things. Make sure it's on foreground color. And click OK. Now it looks like I've completely messed up her eye. I haven't, I promise. Now what I need to do is invert these two right here by selecting this little button right here, these arrows. And I'm going to come up to a brush. Now I'm going to select a brush of an appropriate size. Right now, about 10 is going to work for her for the catch light. I hit that right there. Now all of a sudden, I guess I probably could have gone a little bit bigger. Let's move it up just a tad to 15. On a keyboard, to the two bracket keys to the right of the P key, the letter P, you can go larger or smaller by using those, or you can come right up here to the brush and you can select whatever size you'd like. Anyway, I'm going to go a little larger, like I said, go right over it so I can hide what I did, and there we go. I think that's going to look good. Now, let me deselect what we've done. Select, deselect. Beautiful. Now look at her eye. Now let me show you what it looked like beforehand. That was before, and that's after. It pops a little bit more. It's a little more exciting to look at. It's a great tool. Now, when you look at the overall image, at this point, it's going to look kind of funny, because this eye pops so much more than the other one. Now, my suggestion, you're going to want to go ahead and do that with both eyes, obviously. My suggestion at this point is to come back over here to the background copy. Now, you see right here where it says opacity? If you put, in the later versions of Photoshop, if you put your cursor right above the word opacity and you click your mouse, you can drag right or left to increase or decrease the effect that you're working with. I want to decrease it just a little bit, and then I'm good. Right about there. Now this is, again, all completely up to taste. You may want to do a little more, you may want to do a little bit less. I'm going to stick with it right around there. And you can see on her eyes, by clicking right here on this eye, if you look at her eye, you zoom in on it again. Right here, this was before and this was after. It pops just a little bit more. I hope you've enjoyed this Photoshop tip. Make it your own. Work it the way that you like to work it. Thanks a lot and have a great day.